President Trump making a big push for the Senate health care bill as we head into a potentially critical vote this week.
The president, through a combo of Twitter and Fox News, putting the pressure on his fellow Republicans and the Democrats, who he calls obstructionists.
And speaking of the Democrats, Senator Bernie Sanders out on the stump, launching a 3-state tour to mobilize opposition to the health care bill.
The bill is expected to face a big test early this week, with the Congressional Budget Office releasing its quote-unquote score. That's Washington speak for the official estimate of how much the plan will cost and how many people may lose coverage.
And healthcare is just one of many stories that are bubbling this morning. The Supreme Court is wrapping its 9-month term tomorrow, and we may learn if any of the justices are retiring. That'd be big news.
Meanwhile, the Russia story is not going away. Trump tweeting about that as well. We've got team coverage of all of this morning. George is standing by, but we start here with ABC's David Wright, who's at the White House. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan and Paula. The White House is hoping to pull a rabbit out of the hat on health care reform. They've done it before, but as the Senate begins to get ready to vote on its version of the bill, it doesn't look good. As the final push begins for the Senate bill to repeal and replace Obamacare, the GOP appears to be well shy of the votes they need. Of the 52 Republicans in the Senate, 5 have said they'll vote no. 4 others have expressed concerns. No Democrats support the measure at all. Bernie Sanders, for one, out there campaigning against it.
This bill is a moral outrage. It must be defeated, and together we will do just that.
But the White House is playing hardball.
We'll get it done, even if we don't have any help from the Democrats. We'll get it done.
After Nevada Republican Dean Heller said the bill would be catastrophic for low-income residents of his state.
It's going to be very difficult to get me to a yes.
A pro-Trump PAC threatened $1 million ad buy against him in his re-election fight next year. The president doing his best to charm and cajole votes in his tweets and interviews.
And I don't think they're that far off. Famous last words, right? But I think we're going to get there.
The president is also keeping a sharp eye on the investigation into Russian meddling in the November election and possible collusion by Trump associates. This morning, an odd tweet taking aim at the opponent he beat in that election. Quote, Hillary Clinton colluded with the Democratic Party in order to beat crazy Bernie Sanders. Is she allowed to so collude? Unfair to Bernie. On Russia, the president continues that trend he started this weekend in his tweets, stressing the point that President Obama could have done more to stop it. On health care reform, he made an interesting point in that Fox interview this morning, talking again about that rigged system in Washington he's complained so much again about. He said that he sees the health care debate as an opportunity to fix it. Dan and Paula?
David Wright at the White House. David, thank you. Let's bring in our chief anchor, George Stephanopoulos, fresh off vacation. He'll be hosting this week later this morning. Good morning,
Good morning.
Sir.
Morning,
so this health care bill, are they going to be able to pass this thing? And if they run out of Republican votes, can he get some Democrats?
No way he can get Democrats. Democrats are dead set against this right now. Right now, they're not there. There are at least 5 Republican senators right now who say they cannot support the bill from 2 very different camps, conservatives and moderates who don't like the cuts in Medicaid. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are many more who are holding back. Remember, Republicans can lose only 2 votes. That lets Vice President Mike Pence break the tie. Right now, they're far away.
Yeah, so they can lose just 2 votes. They need a simple majority. If they can't get the votes, George, then what are the next steps in the health care battle?
Who knows is the easy answer. I mean, right there, there's no way to know right now. If they can't get the votes in the Senate, the effort to repeal Obamacare is dead. But then the question is going to be, what is going to happen to the overall system? If this fails, will the president reach out to Democrats? Will Democrats reach out to the president to come up with different kinds of fixes to the real problems that Obamacare does face right now? Democrats say they won't even engage in those talks unless repeal is off the table.
Trump has had busy Twitter fingers this weekend. He's also been hitting President Obama over Russia, as David Wright mentioned. Here's a quote here. Since the Obama administration was told way before the 2016 election that the Russians were meddling, why no action? Focus on them, not T. And by T, I think he means Trump. What do you make of this new tack?
Kind of a head scratcher. I mean, it seems to be, for the first time, President Trump acknowledging clearly that the Russians did meddle in our election. He's been resisting admitting to that so far. He also had, in one of the tweets, suggested that maybe President Obama was not taking action in order to help Hillary, which really makes no sense at all. In fact, it's the Hillary campaign that's complaining about President Obama, saying had he come out earlier with tougher actions against the Russians, revealing what the Russians were doing, that would have helped her in the election.
George, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Welcome
George.
back.
Thanks,
Nice
guys.
to see you again. And I want to remind everybody, George has got a big show this morning. He's going to be speaking exclusively with Counselor to the President, Kellyanne Conway, and Democratic Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, plus 2 Republican senators who really could make or break the GOP health care bill, Senators Susan Collins and Rand Paul. That's coming up later this morning on This Week right here on ABC.